Yeah, this dude. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. You got different, like, I look at boxing a little different. So I coach boxing. I'm not sure if you guys know this. Okay. It's a funny thing. There's like boxing guys, coaches, and then there's like everybody else. Boxing guys don't think that anybody can do it better than they can or know more than they can typically. And then kind of coaches do too, right? Being like a trainer that kind of does both of those things puts me in this place where I know enough to be dangerous, but like, you know what I'm saying? Because like enough to know that I'm not a professional fighter, but enough to know that I can see what a lot of people miss. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I don't try to push my knowledge or anything on anybody else. I do think I coach some pretty, like I'll show you guys some old video. I got some, I coach ninjas. I make girls into ninjas, not joking. Like it was kind of my thing for a little while. I would turn soccer moms into ninjas. It was kind of my thing. I took it as a personal challenge. I thought it would be cool to have a bunch of like late 20s, early 30s girls that had chunkums. I just thought it would be dope. So I taught them very good fundamentals. I broke it down to very simple, and I put a system together that they could learn properly. Not because they are dumb, but because they're girls and like they learn different. So what I had to do is I had to take all the boxing stuff that I learned and I say, okay, how would I teach it to somebody that doesn't know shit? And I broke it down into pieces, like stages. And I know this is a lot, but I want you to, but this is necessary for this explanation I'm trying to give. So very basic 6 punches, right? Jab, cross, your straight punches, hook, uppercut, right? Very basic. You move forward, you move backward, you move side, you move to side. Very basic. Only defense that you really teach, duck. That's it. Basic. That's number one. Until you can get all that stuff done, you don't get to learn anything else. That's stage one. So 6 punches, moving right, moving forward, moving backward, moving left, and ducking. That's it. Okay? That's stage one. Stage 2, you learn a little bit more defense. You still got your punches, but you learn slipping. You've got you got fade, you got a catch, right? You got a couple defensive moves. That's where you throw in a pivot, throw in your roll, right? So you get some extra defensive moves, right? So slip, okay, duck, roll, right? Fade, catch, some defensive stuff. Couple punches that you throw in addition to your 6 extra punches, overhand right, bolo punches, maybe a flick jab, throw some extra stuff in there, right? Okay, that's stage 2. So then the next stage, you start thinking about, okay, now not only am I gonna move, but I'm gonna punch with angles. And now I'm not just gonna throw my cross, but I'm gonna take my head off the line and I'm gonna throw my cross. I'm gonna step and move and throw my uppercut. I'm gonna slip and throw and throw a cross. I'm gonna catch and counter. You got me? So before it was like, it's just like rock'em sock'em robots. Then it's like, okay, you can add a little bit of sauce to it. And then you get a point to where you're like, now you're rolling in. When you roll, you're throwing punches and you're shifting your weight and you're moving your head. You're punching when you're moving your head. You're not just keeping your head on the line and you're rock'em sock'em robots, right? You're moving and punching at the same time. That's 3, right? And then 4 is not only are you doing that, but you're manipulating other people, meaning like you'll throw a punch, hand on a shoulder, spin them around, like you manipulate the other person physically. if you look at Derrick James, great coach. But it's all very basic rock'em sock'em robots. It's very basic, which is what Errol Spence has been doing, this entire time, which is fine. But if you're going to do the basics, you also got to really do the basics, right? So Derrick James, very basic coaching. Very basic. Hands high, shuffle forward, shuffle backwards. Not very much like kind of like, you don't really see him cutting angles or teaching how to cut angles. You don't see him having Spence move his head very much. He tends to allow Spence to get his feet really wide, which is bad because when your feet get really wide and something happens, you have nowhere to go. It's harder for you to move, right? Feet closer together, you might not be able to like put as much ass on something. You might not be able to punch quite as hard, but if you need to quickly move a direction, you can move. Spence, so what happens when you reach? Okay, you reach, you get that, again, you get your head over your front foot, right? Which I said is a death knell to a guy like Crawford. You reach, you've got your foot, your head's out over your foot, and then you have nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. So what happens is what Crawford was doing was, this is how he beat him. So what he was doing was he would move out of distance when he wanted to, but then when Spence would actually reach sometimes, instead of him reaching, Crawford stepped in and smothered the punch. So he takes all the sting out of the punch, takes all the sting out of the punch, either low or high, smothers it. Now you've reached all the way out. You've got your head over your foot. You're reaching. The punch didn't make any contact. Now you're wide open and you have nowhere to go. That's why he kept getting clipped the way he kept getting clipped.
Direct counter.
Yeah.
And Crawford is accurate and fast with his. It's just like I said, it is ridiculous. It's like, bro, you can't be doing that against him.
No, you can't. Cat playing with a mouse, like a lion playing with a dead hyena.
I was like, Jesus, man, those counters. Like, I don't know why he keeps like switch it up. What you doing? And like you said, like I don't know that. I didn't know that meant much of the details where you just like rock'em sock'em robots. I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that Spence did. And come to find out, you're like, yeah, Spence was doing that, wasn't he?
It's just very basic. It's just very basic, right? And then every time he throws those body shots, he does a Canelo thing where he'll like kind of, well, it's like, okay, that's cool if you make contact, but if you don't make contact, you got your hands, one hand's down by your hips and the other one's reached out. Your chin is.
And those punches are predictable too, especially for a guy like Crawford. So
exactly. So yeah, no, the second I was like, because if you watch the Ugas fight, he did a lot of that, a lot of reaching, and then when he was throwing like body shots, throwing those uppercuts, it's one of those things where when you watch it, everybody's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. But when I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, man, you better bring that hand back up to your chin. You throw an uppercut, but he'll rip with both his hands down. No bueno. No, you rip with no, and he's not that fast. He doesn't have like quick hand speed. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have crazy hand speed. Like he's again, battering ram, which is fine for some people. If like Ugas is just going to stand there in front of you and bang with you, trade with you, that's great. But Crawford's, and again, Crawford punches hard enough to hurt you, clearly, you know, and he's got that timing. See, because again, I went back and watched all of Wilder's knockouts. It's not just him punching. He catches people moving in to his punches. 60% of the knockouts that I caught, the person that was coming for them was in between steps. They were moving forward and the front foot wasn't on the ground yet. So if you pause it right as he's getting ready to throw the punch, the person that he knocked out, he did it to Stavern, he did it to the Cuban guy, who I like him. He knocked him out twice the same way.
I saw that fight. Yeah.
Both times he was the front foot, you could pause it right before he threw the knockout shot. The front foot is off the ground. And by the time the foot's on the ground, his head's like this. 60% of them. It's a timing thing. So it's not just me punching, but your momentum is moving forward too. So what was happening was that Spence, sometimes he would reach, Crawford would get out of the way. Whoop, missed, right? Reach again, whoop, missed. And then reach again, Crawford, not only did he not move, but he moved inside. So he got closer, stuffed the punch, and then hit him with the what you call on the way out. And the thing of it is like, okay, well, how do you beat that? How do you beat that? You stop reaching for one. You stop reaching. Throw straight punches.
Yeah, I was thinking jabs.
Yeah, throw straight punches. Throw them right down the middle. Also, beat a guy's forearms up. Crawford caught every single one of those jabs. What? Like I said, when the highlights come out, watch the highlights in slow motion. Crawford's gonna be doing this.
He was out there like Pai Mei, parrying him. Sometimes I'm like, damn, he was actually catching him.
Every single jab. If he stood there, he was catching every single, all of them. He was catching them on the gloves. I was like, it was not even close.
That second round, boy, I was like, wow.
Not even close. Like, I am looking forward to hearing all the copium. Because, see, look, I was silent because I was really looking forward to this fight. I didn't think it was going to happen. Crawford is one of my favorite boxers. It's like he's one of my favorite fighters because of his skill level and what he does. Like, I really do. Like, I've watched multiples of his fights multiple times, and I catch new things all of the time. I think he's one of the most slick. Once again, I like his demeanor. Sometimes I think he could do some things better as far as like business is concerned, but I don't know what his business is like. You know what I'm saying? I wish that he got better fights, and I think that it's like. And again, being a black man, that's hard to deal with. I understand how he got blackballed, or how, he wasn't the right type of black guy. Like, he wasn't marketable, Bob Arum was the guy that he promoted him. So there again, we've got the small hat taking advantage of, in a contract, not working, the promoter not promoting, right? Like, the job is in the name, but you don't promote. Like, you promote by title, but you don't ever actually really promote the fights. So, yeah, he made Spence look like he wasn't landing anything. He really wasn't. He smothered the body shots. He caught the ones that hit. I think he might have clipped Crawford he might have touched him on the chin 2, maybe 3 times the whole fight. With like enough something to like wake you up. I'm not joking when I say Crawford looked like he walked out like he looked like when he walked in.
Bro.
And Spence's face looked like pizza.
In the middle, when the rounds are over, he just sat down, acting like nothing was wrong. He had the same face. I'm like, yeah, he got this.
Beat the dog shit out of Spence. Like, it wasn't a challenge. Like, it was, part of me wants to think that there was something wrong with Spence. You know what I'm saying? Part of me wants
How was
to
he
think,
I wasn't watching his training. How was he training?
The same way.
What he said. The same way?
He was training. He was training. But again, that's fine. Like, if you're going to play, again, if you're going to go rock'em sock'em robots and everybody's going to be real basic on you, cool. No problem. But when you got a guy that can switch hit, when you got a guy that's perfectly comfortable, like, because again, he threw a couple wild overhand rights, right? There are some people that would panic when they see a wild overhand right. A person that knows what he's doing is going to cover up and step inside of it, right? A person that knows what he's doing is going to get just outside. He's going to roll with it. Oh, God, here we go. We got the first one. Spence was drained. No, he just got his ass whooped. He got drained of blood, bleeding out his face is what he got. Matt Goodman, I'm sorry, bro. You clearly the he's drained excuse is not gonna work here. Nice try though. Nice try. Nice try, but nah, he wasn't drained. How are you the 3-belt title at 147 talking about he was drained? That's his division.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
come on, like, let's stop playing games. Like, we gotta stop playing games.
The man, how many title shots? Yeah, there's no.
Yeah, it's a title fight for that weight class. Like, if you ain't got no business at that weight class, then you ain't got no business at that weight class. But you can't make that excuse now. Nah, that's like he's a 3-belt title holder, and you're talking about he was weight drained at 147.
I don't know. Yeah, Spencer just kept on the outside. I don't know why he kept trying to. Yeah.
Well, because he just thought he was going to bully. He thought he was going to bully Crawford. And again, Crawford is stronger than people give him credit for. He wrestled when he was a kid. Like, so that body to body, like wiry. Shout out to JJ. He's like a cowboy. He's got that like cowboy strength. You know what I'm saying? Like hands like bear traps. You know what I'm saying? Just like them old wiry old dudes where they grab hold of you and you like. Whoa.
Shit, you might not know. He might be double jointed in both arms, man. You don't even know that. Like the way he was just, his accuracy was just on point. I'm like, damn, along with his footing. And I'm like, Spencer just couldn't keep up at all.
No, and he got knocked off down. So look, and okay, check this out. And look, I'm gonna break it all the way down for you guys. This is why I knew it wasn't gonna be a contest. Whenever Spence gets buzzed, he kind of like a lot like Anthony Joshua does. Whenever he gets clipped, it's almost like there's like a minute where they like panic and they don't know what to do. Like they kind of like, you know, it's just like a split second, but it's like this moment of he doesn't know. Same thing happened when he was fighting Danny Garcia and he got his mouthpiece knocked out and he like lost. He like, and then he like kind of like there was that moment where he like forgot that he was really in the middle of a fight.
Staggered. It's just like dead. It's like what just hit me.
Yeah, lose his composure. Exactly. Solo Dolo shook. Yep. So he does that sometimes. When he the same thing happened when he fought Ugas. Again, knocked his mouthpiece out and like he got hit and just kind of was like, you know, he loses his balance. Like he doesn't have good balance. He's very flat-footed. And so when he does get hit, like, you know, because the same way he got knocked down in the second round is the same way the first in the first knockdown in the Porter fight at round 10 when he was like whatever, he didn't see it coming. He walked right into it. When you get knocked back flat on your butt like that, because he got the first knockdown it was a flash knockdown. He never saw it. A flash knockdown is like, usually a flash knockdown is when you get like surprised and you get knocked straight back onto your butt. And it's not that you get hard enough to get knocked down, but it's not like a knocked out kind of, it's almost like a oops. Yeah. It hurts, but it's like, ooh, you know, like that's kind of what they call a flash knockdown, where it's like it wasn't like go to sleep. It was more like caught you by surprise. Like you were in between steps.
The kinetic energy got the best of you. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So when they knocked him down in the second round, that was a flash knockdown. He caught him that way. But again, same thing, his balance, his feet he had his feet not too close together. They were too close together this way. Like he didn't have his feet staggered. He was almost standing square. And that's when that's when Crawford caught him and he fell straight back. See, like where your feet are, they matter. That's how you're connected to the ground. If you don't have really good feet, then you can't be a good boxer. What did Goodman say? Matt Goodman say? We're gonna put it up there. Spence didn't fight the fight he normally fight. He barely threw his body shots he normally throw. Bud took away his jab early in the second. It was like, damn, it's a wrap. Yeah, well, he could. Every time he tried to throw them body shots, he got hit with the oos oos. He got hit with a oos 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 oos. So he said, no, I'm not throwing them body shots. Every time he tried to throw them body shots, he got hit with a ooh wee. Oh man, shout out to Spence though. What's up, Stan Joseph? How you doing? What's up, JJ? I saw Bud's power stiff jab was too strong. Dog, Bud's jab looked like a shotgun blast. It was like, bah! Like, but see, okay, once again, if you go back and you look at Bud's training videos, if you look at his training videos, he has this real solid jab. He does this when he's with Bomac. Bomac will either have a big pad up on his shoulder, or he'll have the ball, and he just throws a steady jab. Boom, boom, boom. Throws a steady jab. Boom, boom, boom. They'll do rounds of jabs, rounds and rounds and rounds of jabs. Like, and again, I told you he got that JJ Cowboy Traveler 79 Smith strength. So he's wiry like a cowboy. So he throw them, his jabs are like gunshots. I can't wait. I really hope that they release this whole fight. I got to see this whole fight because there's like 3 uppercuts that Bud threw that lifted Spence off the ground.